Welcome to the house!
To the house of Holbein, yeah! Oh, yeah! The house of Holbein.
Now, on this team, Praxia Snow is the only marker, as well as the only one who benefits from marking. Again, Musketeers are a very situational hero. But Split Six, Rounin, and Barry are all up in the next level bracket, and this is her ticket to join up with them again, so she's coming. Besides, her healing will help support our frontline Vestal a bit. And in the actual boss fight, taking a turn to mark will be more worth it than in the other fights. They head to the Warrens together, letting Kringle handle any traps they come across, and hunt for the Swine Prince. And actually, Praxia Snow doesn't do too bad, even against the targets that she doesn't have the time or the teammates to mark. Now, you've seen Pollock before, but I never actually properly explained how flagellants are best used. The answer is, permanently on the very precipice of death and insanity. When a flagellant reaches 100 stress, they will always get the same affliction. Rapturous. Flagellants also get 20% extra damage and 7% extra crit chance while below 40% health. And look at this, 2 abilities which require 40% health or less. And they're awesome. Playing as intended, he should almost always be seconds away from a mental break and dying of blood loss. He actually has a camping ability which is just to add stress to himself, and nothing else happens. I am way too afraid to ever play him like that. Deathblow resist in this game caps out at 87%, which is way lower than I'm comfortable with. So instead, I just play him as a frontline bleeder who can take a lot of punishment so long as you patch him up afterwards. I've made a specific effort to try to show off a few different playstyles of different heroes in this playthrough, but for this one, screw you, try it yourself if you want to. My heart can't take keeping him on death's door for all time, alright? He's just a resilient damage dealer to me. But hey, look, if it makes you feel better, I gave him the trinket that adds plus 25% stress. See? I'm leaning into the wild lifestyle a little bit. Also, a secret room happened. Woot! Swine Prince! Swine Prince! This boss fight has 2 enemies. The Prince himself, and Wilbur. The Swine Prince does his best work against marked heroes, which Wilbur is happy to provide in number. Kringle spends his turns building towards a massive finale while the others tear down at the Swine Prince. Big shots come in from Praxia. The Swine Prince is killed, leaving Wilbur. When Wilbur's the last one left, he sucks 1,000,000 times more, and has moves which can stun your entire party, and multiple turns per round. You don't want to be left with just Wilbur when someone's low on health. Before Kringle even gets a chance to use his finale, Praxia Snow guns Wilbur down with her sidearm as well. Holy God. With that, Praxia Snow and Kringle both level up to Veteran.
Another soul battered and broken, cast aside like a spent torch.
The next week, Andrea Singh and Pollock take Cora and Cutie Una to the Cove. Cora the Antiquarian takes that role of backup healer this time around. Mostly joining because I didn't have any other backline heroes in that level bracket anymore, but the extra gold is always welcome and she's shown her effectiveness before. The Cove and its enemies are still largely unknown to the denizens of the hamlet, but with this exploration, hopefully more will be learned. I will remind you that this is Yuna's first time adventuring out since her brush with death against the hag a few weeks back. And the first time in a long time that she couldn't be found in the company of Spiral Artist. Cutie Una immediately goes to 100 stress and becomes masochistic. I mean, it didn't even take a second, dude. We're in the very first hallway, we haven't even got to a room yet. I remembered that using a shovel on that thing did something, but I didn't remember what. I thought it was a good thing, so whatever. It makes sense for the storyline. Yuna's PTSD'd the hell out right now, alright? And all the same, you should never mistake a masochistic, stressed out Cutie Una for a harmless cutie Yuna, alright? She's still out there swinging with the best of them and moving like a pro. If anything, the pauses she takes in combat to yell at her teammates is just a good way to get Pollock's stress up to rapturous. Now, fish aren't the easiest to make bleed because they got scales and stuff, but for a man like Pollock, that's no problem. Besides, it's a sight easier than skeletons. Oh, wow, that's pretty good. Nice going, Yuna. Drowned thralls are a very annoying enemy to deal with the first time. They'll do a pretty weak attack on their first turn, every first turn, but you don't want to let them have a second, because on that turn they'll always use a move called the Revenge, which targets the entire party and inflicts massive damage and stress. So killing these guys as soon as is easy is the way to go. Korra is actually carrying her weight pretty damn well. I'm impressed. Her heal is more of something to get somebody off of death's door so that they can tank another hit rather than something to properly heal, at least at this level with these trinkets. But still, I'm damn impressed. Well, now it's gone. Okay. Grave robbers are probably the single hero I have the most fun with, taking party compositions out of it. The flying around everywhere, doing massive damage, and dodging half of what comes your way just feels so fun. They're fantastic as boss killers as well. Oh god, she's on death's door. Why did I bring an antiquarian? It's alright, we win. Let's go home. I'm so sorry, Yuna. Just gonna back to the tavern. There you go, nice and easy. Rest up. The next week has Andrea Singh set up as a bit more of a backline healer, because my other backline people in this level bracket are all stressed to hell right now. Joining her are Hidden Atrocity, who hasn't been out of the hamlet in a long while, and Jasper, that guy who replaced Jasper. Jasper is a bounty hunter too, like Split 6, but I've got him set up as more of a soloing stun bounty hunter, rather than a teamwork mark bounty hunter. And in the last spot, I don't have any good options. Let's check the stagecoach. You'll do. This is just a temporary arrangement. I'm not renaming him, and I'm dismissing him as soon as we get back. Don't get too attached. To the Cove! This man-at-arms, I'm not even going to pretend to care enough to say his name, is set up sort of like a backline damage sponge, which is exactly what he deserves. His setup of abilities isn't perfect for it, because I refuse to spend any money on him, but he is able to guard and buff the entire team. And while guarding, he takes reduced damage. Not that it matters. The cultists in the Cove really miss when Andrea was a frontline healer, and Hidden Atrocity is anxious about transforming into his beast form to begin with. But Jasper is able to clean up without much worry. For a 3-person party, they really aren't doing that bad. In the next battle, Hidden Atrocity gets his monster sea legs back, and does his thing of tearing it up. With a stun-based bounty hunter, you need to take speed and turn order into account. To both stun someone and benefit off of the damage buff against stunned enemies, you'd need to go after them on one round and before them on the next. I normally just use bounty hunters set up like Split 6, so I didn't think of that. I should have had Jasper with a high speed and somebody else with a low speed doing the stunning for him. Everybody's getting stressed, partly because of Hidden Atrocity, but mostly because of the man-at-arms. It's just not a fun sight. Even still, bounty hunters are war machines, so it's not much of a problem quite yet. Though I do swap around his abilities after this fight, because miscalculations. So, how do you guys think things are going out there right now? Good? Dunno. Yeah. During the next fight, the man-at-arms overhears what's gonna happen to him when we get back, and freaks the hell out. Oh! God, Jasper's in big danger, and Andrea gets afflicted too. I retreat from the battle. You can retreat from battles on a hero's turn. It fails 30% of the time on the first try, and heroes will take massive stress from a retreat. But in this game, it is a very valid and important strategy to not be too proud to use. I might abandon the mission. Sometimes you really just have to, that's part of the game. I don't really need extra money or heirlooms from succeeding on this mission, it was just kind of a filler mission, so even retreating isn't really a failure, it succeeded the goal of passing the time. I don't abandon the mission here, though. I return to the fight with Jasper healed, and get to work reducing Hidden Atrocity's stress. Even while afflicted, you don't want the stress to get too high. If a hero's stress reaches 200, they will have a heart attack, which drops them to 0 HP and puts them on death's door. Having a heart attack while on death's door is always fatal. No death's door check required. He has one, and then he has a second one before I can do anything, and dies. Now, I retreat back to the hamlet.
You cannot learn a thing you think you know.
Sorry it's not as nice as it could have been, Cape. I'm not exactly rolling in it. Hopes that the car isn't making you roll in yours. You were heavy, you know. Wouldn't have minded a hand. Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Nothing. It's what you did before. Didn't stop them from treating you like dirt. Well, what can you do? People were mean to you, but I always thought you were cool. Clicking down the hamlet's pathways with your hooved feet in the past weeks, yeah.
I send the man-at-arms back to a fiery hell. I don't want to see anybody pretending to care about that guy, alright? Focus on the real tragedy. This guy sucks! You're only pretending to care, for a laugh. Kringle is sad right now. This isn't the time to pretend to care about a useless, one-off man-at-arms who got everybody killed because he sucked. That was our first death. 24 weeks and 6 bosses in. And look, okay, stop being sad. We're about to have a fun quest with our favorite marking team in the Cove. Won't that be fun? Isn't this gonna be fun? Won't this cheer you up?
Worked for me.
On week 25, the marking gang goes to the Cove to smash up some fish. Now, fish don't have the beast/human keyword for Houndmaster and Bounty Hunter buffs, but it's still easy work. This is a veteran level dungeon, so I need to mind that I don't get too comfortable or unfocused. This giant crab, for example. These guys suck. The team marks him the first chance they get and do some massive damage considering his prot, but the stun gets dodged. Praxia gets stunned herself, and there. This is why this guy sucks. That bleed. It is massive. Luckily I have a bandage, but only the one, so I need to keep this brief. Oh! Both healers stunned too. This is not good. Thankfully, I'm able to heal a little bit and get a stun off, but I really can't be half focusing in areas like this anymore. Barry's heal is outdone by the bleed damage, so it's a band-aid at best. Luckily, Split 6 is able to land the killing blow, and with the help of Praxia and Raunin, Barry's restored to a safer state. I can't retreat right now. The bleed would kill Barry, and the other heroes wouldn't have their combat healing abilities to use. Oh, too close! Too close! Split 6 nearly goes down too. If Praxia wasn't as good of a medic as she is, things would be way worse. Still, the team manages to come out the other side of the battle with a fair amount of health, and stress-wise they're fine, so I decide to continue on the mission. It's an explore 90% of rooms mission, after all, not a complete all room battles mission. Generally, that means less combat. Besides, if I'm gonna beat this game in 100 weeks, I need the Resolve XP and Cove Area advancement that I can only get with a successful return. One last room to go now, and then I've explored 90% of rooms, and I can go back. Just whatever's along this path, and whatever's in the room, and we're home free. But I'm out of torches. And the light is darkening. And I don't have the food for this hunger check. Do I retreat? We're so close now, just 2 more tiles. And the room! And I'm out, we win, I explored that room, it counts, now get back to the hamlet. Jeez, not having any better healing trinkets is really screwing me right now. Still, everyone's alive and okay and back safe. And with their successful return, a new boss in the cove has been unlocked. The Siren. And the next week, week 26, Pollock, Jasper, Andrea Singh, and the newly arrived musketeer Nikki Jackson embark to take her on. We can only hope their voyage to the cove is more successful than the last couple voyages to the cove. There are a lot of enemies to get through on the way, but thankfully they don't cause too much trouble. Jasper and Nikki Jackson do well with one another, both being based around marking. The thing about this game is that when things go bad, they go bad. At this point in the footage, I've been playing for over 7 hours straight, for the second day in a row. That tiredness can be extremely costly, because one mistake can cost you everything. Luckily, I was able to recover without losing anyone else from the last team. And the notion of losing my favorite team composition certainly woke me up a fair bit. The party makes camp, and prepares their weapons to fight. The Siren, here it is! Oh, too fast for you, scared you. I bet you got scared right then. The Siren does her siren thing and sings a siren song, taking Andrea Singh over to the Siren's side. Though still under her spell, she's able to fight the effects just a little bit, and redirects the forced healing onto herself instead of the Siren. Andrea returns, and Jasper is the next target of the Siren's song, but he resists, because his name wouldn't make it funny, and the Siren is executed soon after. And it's exactly what we needed. A major success to lift spirits. One more boss down. On week 27, a town event removes level restrictions for the next quest. Simon Quicker, Spiral Artist, and Kringle, all quite close from their shared experiences together in the past, join Cutie Yuna on a quest to help her adjust back to the horrors of the manor, and reach veteran level. They gather their trinkets and depart, to destroy the Beastman's crude shrines to false gods. Kringle is quieter than usual, but Yuna is just glad to have Spiral Artist at her side once again, as they head into the Warrens. With such veterans of the manor, the enemies stand little chance. But it's quite impressive to see how well Yuna matches their pace, despite herself. The protective presence of Spiral Artist seems to soothe her anxious mind, and Kringle's melodic strums of the guitar do more to the same effect as well. Slowly, through successful and easy slaughter, Yuna is finding her footing again. The first shrine is destroyed with Yuna's pickaxe, and she feels her heart slowing to a normal beat once again. Between Spiral Artist's armor-piercing spear, Yuna's armor-piercing pickaxe, and Kringle's heavy bleeds, the high-prot enemies go down quickly. Spiral Artist also has access to some heavy blights, which, again, Yuna gets bonus damage against blighted enemies. Add onto that the buffs from Kringle's Battle Ballad and the high dodge of them all. Ooh boy. Can you imagine if I had any good trinkets? With the boxes and a good healing trinket on Simon quicker, this build would be even more insane.
Eradicated.
This setup is actually my other favorite team composition, right up there with the marking squad. Occultists can heal from any position, and the other 3 damage dealers are all versatile movers with very effective attacks and buffs. Building up a big Jester finale at the same time as you Blight and Shadowfade and lunge with the other 2 for constant massive damage, managing positioning for Jester buffs and finale and Shield Breaker damaging moves and Grave Robber lunges, This dungeon doesn't really offer anything to let me best show this off, and Kringle not having his Dirk Stab ability equipped, which moves him forward a space and can bypass a guard, isn't assisting either, but don't worry. You will be seeing a lot more of this crew later on. They set down to camp, excited, rejuvenated, and confident. Cutie Unit does a bit of dark comedy with a gallows humor joke, which Spiral Artist doesn't like, but the joke lifts the uncharacteristically dark mood of Kringle somewhat. He returns the favor with a plus accuracy plus crit song. The 2 briefly share a small smile of potential new friendship. And then, they rest. The final shrine is destroyed the next morning, but they stay a while longer. They're in good health, and possess both food to spare and packs not yet filled. A short while later, they exit the Warrens and return to the hamlet. Cutie Una is now veteran level.
Try now?
Sally, you don't need a— Ow!
Feeling?
Normal. I feel— Whoa.
Successful. Heard Tim going to Warren's. Wretched massive living flesh. Sample? We'll sample.
Well, you and that odd butler certainly hit it off, Grim. What you been here for, a day and a half?
You cannot walk for now. He is heavy. You will carry?
Sure.
The beasts of the Warrens are running scared with their religious idols desecrated, and out has come the inchoate flesh to try calm the herd. One of the most disgusting monstrosities the Warrens has to offer. Jasper, Andrea Singh, and Nikki Jackson are sent out to dispatch it. The newest addition to the hamlet, the plague doctor known as Odd Butler, tags along as well. And if you saw that healing trinket, don't get excited, it's antiquarian only. Odd Butler may be new to the hamlet, but she isn't new to the work. She's one of the ones who arrived pre-leveled, so she's ready to go straight into a boss like this. She came to the hamlet after hearing of the manor's many monstrosities, hoping to study them and perhaps even make some of her own. So, the rumors of such a disgusting mass of flesh roaming the manor's tunnel system was too intriguing to deny a visit for. Jasper takes lead, with Nikki Jackson watching the rear as they venture out into the winding tunnels in search of the beast. Its exact appearance is not known. Reports only consist of the noises and its trail. If anybody has seen it up close, they haven't come back to tell anyone about it. From what the party's heard, it's large, abhorrent, and impossibly destructive. So in other words, they'll know it when they see it. In combat, Odd Butler relies on her blight grenades, but she also uses her various concoctions to heal, stitch up, and boost the combat effectiveness of her allies. Together with the power of Andrea Singh and the already impressive fighting force of Nikki Jackson and Jasper, the beasts stand little chance. Stacking blight is so much fun. And like this, Odd Butler quite easily integrates herself into the already established trio. They set down for camp, and as Nikki Jackson pulls her rations from her pack, Odd Butler notices some of her medical supplies.
Ah, are you a woman of science as well?
Oh, the kit? Well, I'm trained as a field medic, if that's what you're asking.
Fellow doctor. How rare. We must discuss methods.
Alright, sure. I got time. Their rest is interrupted by a nighttime ambush. But even in the dark, a blindly hurled blight grenade is a blight grenade still, and an axe no less sharp. And a markswoman's trained eye no less keen. The battle is won quickly, and without issue.
The match is struck.
The flesh. It merges and squirms and morphs. On instinct, Odd Butler hurls a blight grenade, which seems to quite affect the monstrosity. Nicky calls out a shot and Jasper takes it, but his blade glances off of the bony mass, only cleaving a sliver of flesh with it. The massive mass morphs yet again. Though seemingly made of 4 separate pieces, it is one shared entity, with the same grip on life and an inability to be shifted out of its morphing order. A fleshless spine cracks down onto Jasper, stunning him, and another onto Odd Butler. Even still, Andrea Singh's prayers are able to keep the damage at bay. One portion of the creature morphs into what appears to be a heart valve, and some of its wounds seal. But the heart valve is not as heavily armored as the other shapes this mass can take, and a keen shot from Nicky Jackson is all it takes to pierce the artery, sending warm blood spewing across the muddy tunnels, and felling the creature at last. In the moments immediately after the battle, Odd Butler pokes at the indescribable corpse, then cuts a sample. Is it dead? It's dead.
Shame. Would have liked living portion.
Well, the tunnels are rid of it, and you got what you came for too, so, shall we head back?
Suppose. Must study anyway. Dr. Jackson, will you join?
I don't know. That thing was pretty disgusting. I think I'm just gonna head to the tavern, honestly.
Very good. We will study in tavern.
Sounds like a plan. Jasper's buying. Oh, none for me, Jasper. We know.
Papa